I think we can start. Okay. So majority of the things are covered before we, in the next lecture, we are going to start with GitHub. That is mainly how to collaborate with your friends. Okay. But multiple developers. Okay. So it is not necessary that you can only use Git for collaboration. I have many of the projects that I've done, I have not collaborated with anyone. It's my lone project, and still from the beginning I have been using version control for any software that I do. I start with version control first because I am pretty sure that somewhere I will make some mistake and then I have to go back, and instead of taking zips of each and everything, I rather do put everything inside Git and then recover it. Okay. Now some few tips and tricks, that is what we are going to do in this particular half an hour. Okay. So the first thing that we are going to do is we will first quickly differentiate between Git Reset and Git Revert. Okay. So I will just show you the Git log. You can see what I've done. I have made three commits, M1, M2, and M3. Okay. So this is the current status of the repo. I've created a new repo called week 2A. What I'm going to do is, because I want to do revert and reset, I'm just going to make a copy of this so that I can, show you how the things are going. Okay. So I have done this. Now I have already shown you what Git Reset does, right? So if I want to go back one step or two steps, I can do that with Git Reset, right? So let me just show you what actually happens. Okay. So I want to go back to the first commit. Okay. So this commit, so I can just copy that hash. I can just do Git Reset hard and the hash. Okay, I paste it, I press enter. Now it says I am at M1 and all the files that were created in the other two steps are gone, right? So now if I do git log, you can see there is only one commit left. Okay, that is M1. And even if I do all, you can see still there is only one commit. Okay. So as you know, as I've already said, it is not possible to recover the once you do Git reset, it is uh, difficult to recover the contents. Okay. So once it is gone, it is gone, right? So right now if you want to recover, you can do one thing, that is you can do one more Git reset. Okay, reset hard, and this time you are going to go up, right? So as we have seen in the documentation, for going up I can do git head and then @ symbol, and then how many steps you want to go up, right? So I want to go back 2 steps, right? So now it says the head is now at M2. Okay. So now if I do git log, you can see now I'm M1, M2. Okay, I have to do 3. I have to go 3 steps because the first step is the first commit, second commit, and the third commit, right? So I have to do git reset hard 3 to go up one more step. Okay, so I think something I'm doing wrong. So this is the right time to find out another command, which is, now if you see, if even after doing this git head 3, it is not working, right? So let me just show you how you can get the actual number. Okay, so for that you have to run this command git reflog. Okay, so if you run that, you can see what is the actual number of the commit, right? So you were at the head 0, that means you were at that particular commit from Git 3 and you want to go to M3. Okay, and for that the commit ID you can see from here. Okay, if you want, you can use this, or you can use head 3. Okay, so I tried head 3, but I think it's not working. Let me just try to use the hash. Okay, and paste and enter. Okay, so with the hash it worked. Okay, so now you can see now I'm at M3. Okay, so now all my files are back even after doing hard reset. Okay, now you may ask then, sir, last time you said if you do hard reset then you cannot recover. It is true that you cannot recover, but it is slightly different. For that I will show you one diagram. Okay, so let me just copy these things. Okay, so let me say this is your repo, right? So this is what you are at M1, then you committed to M2, then you committed to M3. Now you are going back to M1, you are doing a hard reset. So what happens is now you are at this particular point and all the other commits. Okay, so that branch is deleted. Okay, you are resetted, you come back to M1, but now this line that was there, okay, in between, that links to that history, that is gone now because of Git reset. So now what happens is, obviously you can go back from here using hard reset head 2 or 3. Okay, but the problem is now you can see that this is called as an orphan commit. Okay, orphan means this does not have any parent. Okay, so these two commits does not have any parent, and the default behavior of Git is after 30 days any orphan commits will be deleted automatically. Okay, so by chance if you do reset, okay, and you somehow you want to recover whatever you have deleted, then you can do it till 30 days. Okay, after 30 days these orphan commits will be deleted. So that's why I said that once you do hard reset it is very difficult to get back the data. Okay, because probably I'm sure that you will forget that such kind of a orphan commit was there, and it will be automatically deleted after a while, right? So it's better not to do git reset hard. Rather than that, what we normally prefer is something called as Git Revert. Okay, so now let me show you Git log again. You can see my current status is again back to my normal M1, M2, M3, right? And if I want to do undo uh, without affecting or without creating any orphan children's, then what you can do is use Git Revert. Okay, so let me just show you what Git Revert does. Okay, so I will do Git Revert head. Okay, so what I am currently telling Git Revert is whatever I have done right now in the latest commit, undo it. That is what I am telling Git Revert. Okay, so if I do that, you can see it is telling me revert M3. That is the message. Okay, you can change this message as whatever you want. So let it be revert M3 for my case, and I will save it with :WQ. You can see at the bottom there is :WQ I have entered. Press enter, and now you have reverted, right? So now let me run git log again, and you will see the difference, okay, between git reset and git revert. Okay, so in git revert it does not delete anything. Instead it creates a new commit called revert M3. Okay, which is now basically equal to M2. Okay, so whatever was the state of M2 is now copied into M3. Okay, so now basically what happens is in any point of time you want to go back, you can always go back. Okay, it has no limitations. So that's why whenever you use you create any open source software and you have released softwares to the public, it is always better to use revert rather than reset. Okay, and if you are doing a local development, then it is always it is not always, but it is preferred you use git reset hard, and you remove any unnecessary commits that you have done by mistake. Okay, So this was just a difference of what Git Revert and Git Reset is. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to see is very important is Git Alias. Okay, so Git Alias is another config that is there in your Git config. Okay, let me just do Git config. Okay, before that, let me just do Git log, and what we do is graph, right, and all, right. So this is the command that we run to get the graphical overview of whatever has happened. Right now, I don't want to type such a long command. I want to shorten it, right, because every time I don't want to type git log graph all these things. So there is a shortcut in Git which you can do, that is git config alias, right, and give the alias a name that you want to give. Let's say I want to log it, right, so I can say lg to log, right. So I will say lg for log, a shortcut is lg, and what is the command when it should run when you type lg, git lg. Okay, so it should run the command git log with the parameter graph. Okay, so this is the command that I want to run, right. So let me just save it. You can see it has been saved. Now let me run this command. I want to run this command, so the shortcut that I've created is lg. If I type lg, you can see it runs the command, right, git it runs the git log command with the. So now you can do much more things, much more advanced aliases with this command. You can keep on adding more and more aliases. You can cascade it. I will put a link in the Moodle with more description on how to create useful aliases. Okay, next thing that we are going to see is Git Ignore. Okay, so that is very important again. Now let me just go over here, and since we have done a revert, you can see M3 is gone. Right now, let me add a new file. Let me call it as log.txt. Okay, I've added this file log.txt. Now, normally whenever you create any application, okay, whenever you create a PHP application or any language application, many times for debugging, you create a log file, okay, where you output some error messages or anything. Okay, these will change every time you run the code. Okay, it has nothing to do with version control as such. So these kind of files should not be in the version control. But as you see, if I do git status, it shows that log is changed, right. Just imagine every time you run the application, this file changes, right, and every time you have to commit, it will be a big headache for you, right. So for such cases, you have to put this file in the ignore list. Okay, so Git has something called as Git Ignore. If you add any file to Git Ignore, it will stop tracking it. Okay, so that is very important to understand. So we will create our first, we can create one in Git Ignore in this particular directory. All you have to do is you have to create a file with the extension .git ignore, Git Ignore. Okay, so this has to be the file. If I enter, you can see I have created a new file, Git Ignore, and open that file with Notepad or anything. And here you can add all the files you want to skip. Okay, so let me say I don't want log.txt to be in the version control. Okay, once I add that, now if I do git status, you can see that now log.txt is not there in the track. It is now untracked. Now whatever changes that you do in log.txt, it will not matter because it is in Git Ignore, right? But obviously Git Ignore is a new file, so this will be untracked, so you have to commit that. Okay, so this has to be committed. So I can do git add and git commit -m added Git Ignore. Okay. So now if I do git status, git status, now everything is clean. Let me go and edit the log file, put something in. So now the log file has changed. Now try to do git status. It doesn't matter. Okay. Whatever you do changes in log file, it will not matter because it is in the git ignore file. Okay. Similarly, this is very important for us because when we start developing applications like on Laravel, there are separate folders for log files. So that has to be added inside the git ignore. Second very important thing is many softwares or many frameworks uses something called as .env or environment files, which has all the keys, database passwords, the GitHub passwords, Facebook passwords, API passwords. All these passwords will be there inside that env file. And always remember, none of the passwords should ever go inside your Git repository. It should be hidden from the public. Okay. Public or from the developer, everybody. Okay. So that for that, what we normally do is whatever you want to ignore, you put it inside this and everything will be ignored. Okay. In fact, the best part is, let's say you have a folder called log. Okay. You have a folder called log or any other folder. Let's say you have a folder, another very important feature of Git Ignore, you have a folder called images. Okay. Now you have a folder called images. Now, whenever a user uploads an image on your website, again, Git will create a problem. It will say new file found, right? You don't want that. You are tracking the source code, not the user images, right? So again, this has to be avoided. So what you can do is you can just open Git Ignore, and after log.test, log I don't want to uh, track. So I will add another line. I don't want to track images also, right? If it's a folder, at the end you should add the slash. Okay. So images also I'm not going to track. Also the log folder also I don't want to track. Okay. So log folder also I don't want to track. That's it. So now you can decide which things you want to track and which things you don't want to track. Okay. So now if I do git status, you can see nothing has changed. This folder, that is log folder, images folder, nothing is coming except the git ignore, because obviously you have changed the git ignore file. Whenever you change git ignore, you have to commit it. Okay. So I hope you have understood what is git ignore, aliases. And one final thing before we finish today's session is rebase. Okay. So I want to teach you what is rebase. So I will just quit from here and delete this and recover this. Okay. And create another copy of this, paste it, and this I will call it as B. Okay. Now I have created two same repositories. One is week 2A, one is week 2B. Both of them have the same data. Okay. Let me open the first one, git bash here, and open the folder, run git log. You can see it is the same thing. There are 3 commits. That's it. Okay. Now I'm going to add a branch. Okay. So let's actually I should have made this after I create the branch. Okay. Let me just delete that and let me create a branch quickly. So the command for creating a branch is branch branch, and the name of the branch is, let's say, feature. Okay. The branch name feature. Let me check out, git checkout feature. Okay. Switch to the branch. Now I want to make some changes. Okay. Let me do touch f1.txt. Okay. Now git add, git commit -m, F1. Okay. So now let me do git log and show you what is the status. So you can see I have sorry, what have I done anything wrong? Okay, I have not created any additional, that is fine. Okay, so I have now 2 branches. Okay. I have now 2 branches, feature branch and the master branch. Okay. Now I just want to show you how it looks visually. Okay. So this is how it looks visually. This is my master branch 1. Okay. Then I committed and created another branch M2 where M2.text was added. Then M3.text was added and again committed it. At this point, I created a branch called feature. Okay. So this part is my feature branch. Okay. So I created f1.text and that is committed and it is called f1 dot this thing. Okay. What do you say? F1 dot F1 is the name of the commit. Okay. Now let me go back and do one more thing. Create one more commits in F1 and in master branch, both the places. Right now I am at feature branch. Okay. Let me do another commit. Let me do touch f2.txt, then do git add, then f2. Okay, that is done. Let me now, so what has happened is now I have created another commit. Okay, so this will be now f2. So this is the current status. Now I'm going to back to master branch. So for that, it is the command is checkout master. And now I'm going to create another commit over here, touch m4.txt. Okay, and let's say I want to do git add, git commit, and let's call it m4. Okay, so now one more thing is added. So now this will come over here and okay, so this is our current status of our repository. Right now I'm going to take a copy of this, paste it. Okay, and let me call it B. Okay, so this is my on B repository. I am going to do rebase, and here I am going to do merge. Okay, so let us see the difference between git rebase and git merge. Okay, so now as in the diagram you can see master branch has progressed till M4. Okay, so this is M4, and now feature branch has reached F2. Right now I want to merge both of them together. Right, so what I do is I just simply take this, and when I run the git merge command, this is what happens. Okay, so this has happened. So it branched, then some changes happened, then it merged. Okay, so this is what happens when you run the command. What is that command? Git merge feature. Okay, so if I press enter, you can see some message I have to type. I'm not going to type anything, just enter, and my merge is done. Okay, so now let me just do a git log and find out what is the status. You can see that this is the status. This is exactly what we see over here. Okay, so this is exactly what we see over here. You can see M1, M2, M3, and at M4 it is split into 2, right? Then F1, F2 was created, and then at the end it was merged together, right? So this is what exactly I've shown over here. Okay, so this is clear, I think. Now I'm going to do rebase. Okay, so let me just copy this entire thing and take it down. And let's see what happens if you do the same thing with slightly different approach. Okay, so right now I will just open this in Git Bash week 2b Git Bash here. Okay, and if I do git log graph all, you can see right now I am at the state where M1, M2, M3. Then at M3, I have divided it into two branches, master and feature. Then in the feature, I have done two commits, F1 and F2. You can see here. So this symbol over here, this tells you that there is a branch. Okay. Then after that, the feature is right now here, and the master is right now at this position. Okay, but they both are not merged together, right? So this is now I don't want to merge it. Okay, I want to do something slightly different. Okay, I want the data to be there, but I don't want to merge it. Okay, so whenever you want to get the data from another branch, one method is to merge, another method is called rebase. Okay, now rebase, let me just show you what I mean by rebase. Okay, so let me just quit and let me I'm on the master branch. Right now I'm going to do a rebase. Okay, so let me go to the branch git checkout feature. Okay, so now I am, instead of the master, I am on the feature. Now I am going to change the base of the feature branch to somewhere else. Okay, so I will just show you what I'm going to do. Okay, so I will just say git rebase and to the master. Okay, so what this command says is change the base of your current branch to the master branch. Okay, now you may say, what is this base? Okay, so look at this F1. Okay, so this is the feature branch, right? What is the base of this feature branch right now? Currently the base is M3. Okay, so that is called the base. Okay, so what I'm going to do is with rebase, I am simply going to take this and change the base and put it over here. Okay, so that is what is going to happen when I do rebase. Okay, let's run that and see what happens. So it says successfully rebased, and let me just run git log for you and you can see the difference. Okay, so basically the difference is M1 is there, M2 is there, M3 is there, M4 is there, and F1 is there, and F2 is there. Everything is there in the single, so there are no branches as such. That is the best part of rebase. You can see it from here also. See, there any branches? It is going as a one single element, right? So this is what rebase helps in doing, right? But rebase, that does not mean rebase is good. Okay, rebase is slightly dangerous. Why? Because whatever changes were there in M4 is now there in F1 and F2 also. That is the biggest, that can be the biggest problem. Okay, now you may ask me, sir, when to use merge and when to use rebase. Okay, so it is very important to understand. Let's suppose, let me just undo here. Okay, this is your current scenario. Okay, your friend is working in a feature and you are working on the master, right? And you have done very important changes which has to be there in all the branches. Okay, you cannot work without that. Okay, so you will tell your friends that either you can merge, okay, but in case of merge, then there will be lot of trees here and there, right? But if you do a rebase, what happens is this, as I showed you before, it simply goes from the base, it shifts from the base to the, it shifts the base, right? So this helps in, you know, creating a linear tree. By linear tree, what it helps in is when you debug, when you start to debug, You don't have to switch branches to find out what is the problem. There will be a single tree, and all the problems you can easily find out if there is a single tree. Okay, so the use case of this is completely up to you, when to use rebase and when to use merge. Okay, I normally use I have always used merge only. I have never used rebase as such, because the reason is I am developing most of the application alone. So as such, collaboration is not there, so I never use rebase. Okay, so if you are working on a collaboration, then I would suggest you to go through this. You have to practice a lot. Okay, and then only you will understand the actual difference between these things. Okay. Okay, so next, sorry, I think we are done with the time. If there are any queries, we will have 1 or 2 minutes for the queries, or if there are any queries still pending, you can always ask in the forum. Okay. I just showed you Khan Fuzzle. The command for to find the orphan commits is git reflog. Okay, I have just shown you that only in the this thing. When the git reset hard was not working, I just run the command git reflog, and it showed me everything, even the orphan commits. Okay. Any other queries is there? Okay, so you can ask the queries till then. Next time it was going to be very important, because we will be starting GitHub, and actual collaboration, how to do collaboration, that we will see. And there are a lot of features that GitHub offers. We will see that, and most probably we will finish this course by next week. Okay. Are there any more queries? Rehan Ali, it's already uploaded. Today's videos, I will upload it by tomorrow. Other videos of the previous weeks, I have already uploaded it on the Moodle account. And very important thing is this version control is mandatory for everybody, at least those who are working, those who are going to work on development. Okay, core those who are going to be a programmer, you cannot run away from Git. And next time I will also show you some GUI which makes this entire process much more easier. Okay, so that way you don't have to write the commands again and again. But again, I still use the commands only to do all my commits. I don't use the GUI, because it is at the end, when you want to deploy to the server, you have to use the commands only. There is no GUI on the server, right? So that's why it's better to learn the commands than the GUI. I think there are no more queries. So I will see you in the next week. I hope you enjoyed. See you. Goodbye.